All right, so we're recording again. This is Co-Creation Station. I'm Collin.
Stephanie, this is the after show conversation.
It's the
Our
Co-Creation
first
Station
ever.
after party.
Yeah.
It actually looks like the regular party, but it's the after party. No, you
So
just
you
sorry.
were talking about the difference between the sequel. You were saying that what I do is a little
Philosophy.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, my philosophy. Go on.
No, I was just saying, like, I think exercises, like specific practical exercises, are really helpful for humans in general. It's how we learn how to do a lot of things. And so in The Secret, they go into great detail about visualization as an exercise. And they have the story about the guy at work who's having conflicts with all his coworkers, and he puts the headphones on. He listens to this very specific stuff. Abraham Hicks has always had, through the years in her workshops, different exercises, different games that she suggests
Hmm.
that you try. And I think all those things are potentially super helpful. But the challenge, and I think I was a really good example of this as one of your clients, is that if you're the kind of person that does block, abundance a lot, if you do have a lot of negative thinking, if you do stay in a not so good feeling place sort of pretty often, like I did before I was working with you, it's almost like my negative mental patterns or negative beliefs or whatever can work on those exercises themselves.
Yeah.
And actually, like, I can get into this thing of like, oh, well, if I visualize, I better get it. Or if I
Yeah.
do this Abraham Hicks exercise, I better get the thing.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that just came out of episode, whatever, 11 that we were just recording was that, because I asked you, would you suggest, somebody visualizing a feather, like I've heard Abraham
Yeah.
suggest,
Yeah. Hmm.
and like seeing if they see a feather, and you were
Hmm.
like, no, because what I heard you say is I just really want to focus on getting people to feel good,
Or feel
partly,
better, not less so
yeah,
necessarily feel,
better than
like,
they are feeling.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, A, because that's just a better way to live, right? It just feels better
Well,
to
it
live
feels
that
good
way,
to feel good.
right? And but B, in terms of using the art of allowing, which is
It's
our
it. It's
part
everything.
in using the law of attraction to our advantage, feeling good is the foundation. And I think unintentionally, I think a lot of people watch The Secret. A lot of people may watch a few Abraham Hicks workshops on YouTube or whatever, and they might try these exercises and not have success with them, and then
Yeah.
think,
I
oh,
didn't either for years.
that means the law of attraction is just a load of bull, or it
Yeah.
doesn't really, or it
This
works for
doesn't
other people, it
work.
doesn't work for me. And it's really like, I think that was the thing that you taught me most, is that um, if you're not feeling good, it's just you're gonna attract what you don't want, essentially.
Or it's not going to feel good.
Yeah.
And I gave that example once where I was really upset. There was something going on in my mom's life. I was emotionally just really triggered and just had and
Yeah.
almost rear-ended someone. And thankfully I didn't, but it woke me up and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my God, Steph, the energy I'm feeling right now, I almost got in an accident."
Yeah.
And that happens all the time. I know people that have had a similar experience, but they actually had the accident.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need to like let this go. I need to try, whatever. I just changed the
Yeah.
subject as best I could because that really scared me. I don't want to, I don't want to get in an accident. I don't want to rear anyone. And
Yeah.
that's just an example of that. My energy is really powerful, and so it can work to both degrees, and I have to be
Hmm.
really careful. And this has happened over time, and I see that now.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, going back to what you're saying, it's like it's as simple as that. Is like if
Yeah.
I'm not feeling good, I stub my toe or I drop something. I've had like a negative thought and dropped something.
Yeah.
I've had a negative thought and like, slipped or whatever. And I can, over time, I've been like, oh, wow. And the opposite happens. Like, I love the muscle testing. It's like, if it serves me, I stay strong. But if a
Hmm.
negative thought and my hand goes weak, and I believe that, that's for everything.
Yeah. So I think the big picture takeaway for me is that it's more important to focus on feeling good,
Feeling better. Because
feeling
sometimes we
better.
can't get to
Yeah.
good.
Right.
And so if I'm, like we were saying earlier, if I'm upset, I can't go to appreciation. If I'm
Right.
upset, I need to just soothe myself. And if
Right.
I'm a little down, oh, for me, it's music. I can listen to some music and help me feel better.
Yeah.
And so I feel a little bit better. Then I feel it. Then I get to a point where I feel good.
Hmm.
And then from there, you know, I feel better. I feel good. And that's what I want to feed. And I've just gotten into a better habit of doing that.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think, yeah, I guess that's the big takeaway for me is feeling better is the goal because if I feel lousy, I can do exercises from The Secret and Esther Hicks all day long, and it probably isn't going to work very well.
you start
But
to
if
feel a
I'm
little better, maybe.
right, but again, that would be the goal, not
The
necessarily.
thing, the
Yeah, like
object, the goal. Yeah,
if I'm trying to
yeah,
attract a new car,
yeah,
and I feel terrible, and I'm thinking about
yeah.
everything that's wrong in my life, and then I do an Abraham Hicks exercise to get a new car, it might get me in a better feeling place, but it's probably not going to manifest the
It
car.
triggers me because I tell people all the time is like only do this stuff when you're feeling better or good. Like don't
But
use those tools to
so
try to make something happen. If I'm feeling bad, it's like that's the time for me to go pet my friend's cat,
yeah,
but not be like I'm going to work on my business right now and I'm going to create, I'm going to focus on
but
my goal.
if we looked at the flip side of that, and I'm sorry, my phone, I should have silenced my phone. Um, we look at the flip side of that. Let's say different scenario. You get a new client who comes in and says, "Well, you know what? I don't understand this because I feel like I feel pretty good most of the time. Um, I don't love my job, but I don't hate it. You know, I like the people there. Um, and I come home at night and I watch my three favorite shows for every night of the week on Netflix. And I don't recall that I'm blocking anything, but I've really been wanting a relationship, you know, a romantic relationship for a long time, and I don't have one. So why isn't one showing up for me if I really am just like not putting up any resistance, and if I'm watching my shows every night and it feels great, why hasn't the relationship shown up if I'm not putting up resistance?
Usually there is resistance and we're just not in touch with
So
what that is.
where would you start to look for it in that person's story?
Well, over time with us working together, I would be able to hear it. It would pop up
But like where?
in what they say, in what they do. It
About
would come. It. Everybody's different, so
oh, okay.
I can't say specifically, but
Mhm.
I would be able to notice it because honestly, if there's something that we want and it's not here yet and we've been wanting it for a while, it's usually I'm the only one who's stopping. I'm the only one who can allow it and I'm the only one
Mhm.
who can stop it. And
So
it's
do we
usually my
have to
emotions or my thoughts or my actions that are
so okay, that's cool. I can understand that. So in working with this person, it's like I mean your experience so far has been you would detect somewhere and as you get them to talk more about their life or the relationship or whatever that
yeah, it would come
all of
up.
a sudden the stuff would pop out about
Oh
like
yeah,
oh
absolutely.
yeah, like I just feel like there aren't enough good men out there or something like that. You're like, there it is. Um, but so to flip that, does that mean we don't need to do these exercises? Do we not? Is visualization a waste of time?
No, it's great. It's I that's how I manifested my spa. I mean, that's how I
Okay.
manifested clients. That's how I've manifested
So these tools are
many
good and
things.
they do work.
Oh
We just
God,
have to
yeah.
make sure that we're
Absolutely.
prioritizing feeling better first because they won't get us where we want to go unless we feel better first. Is
Yeah,
that
because
accurate?
if yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
wouldn't do because the energy is funky.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, like when I'm feeling bad, it's not the time for me to think about my goal or my vision.
Right.
That's
So
the
I think
time for
that's the thing
me.
that's missing from, and I understand like The Secret is a film that they just made to like release the message
Yeah.
to the
Oh,
whole world
yeah.
at
And
once.
thank God they did, because I don't
Yeah.
think either one of us would be here right now for all these years doing what we've been doing had that. That's how I learned about it. I didn't
Right.
know about this stuff before.
I just think it's interesting because I've heard both. I've heard stories like you're in mine where we watch it and we have this like kind of like
Yeah.
light bulb.
Yeah.
But I've also heard people that have watched it have tried visualization.
Hmm.
In their mind, it hasn't worked, and I think you and I kind of suspect we know why. But
because
for
they said it's not
for
working.
them, because they don't get this other piece about feeling better, they form like a quasi-permanent belief, like, oh, that doesn't work for me. And so I think it's just interesting that, yeah, I mean, I think I'm a huge proponent of The Secret. I think it's an amazing film, and it's definitely moved us forward in a big way as a planet.
It was a stepping stone.
Yeah, but
It
I
was
just
not the end be all, but it was definitely a stepping stone. It opened a door for
yeah
a lot of us.
yeah.
And
But
some
I think
people slam that door shut, and that's okay.
it's true. Yeah, not everybody has to get it, but I
Yeah,
do
and they're
think that
not. That's why there's a bajillion people on the earth, because we all have
yeah
different beliefs, we all have different paths, we all have different
yeah
intentions,
yeah.
just like Abraham says, if you don't want Tabasco in your cake, don't put it in.
I haven't heard that one.
It's probably not exactly,
Right.
but the kitchen, it's a well-stocked kitchen. And if you
Uh-huh.
do not like Tabasco, you don't
Don't
have to
put
have it in
Tabasco in the
anything.
kitchen. Yeah,
Grab
that makes sense.
ketchup. I don't know. But,
Yeah. All right.
okay.
Thanks for the bonus episode. I hope this was helpful to people. First bonus episode. We didn't know it happened. So.
How fun. I like when they do the after show.
Yeah, that's cool. All right.
And we
Well,
just did our own.
thanks for coming to the after party, everybody. We'll see you next time on the show.